Post-war Soviet Union, Reconstruction and Stalin's rule. Of 1. Introduction. In the aftermath of World War II, the Soviet Union embarked on a massive reconstruction effort while continuing under the authoritarian rule of Joseph Stalin. This period, extending from the end of the war in 1945 until Stalin's death in 1953, was marked by significant rebuilding, political repression, and the solidification of the USSR's status as a global superpower amidst the burgeoning Cold War. 2. Reconstruction efforts. Economic recovery. The Soviet Union focused on rebuilding its heavily damaged industrial base and infrastructure. The emphasis was on heavy industry, often at the expense of consumer goods and agriculture. Repopulation and resettlement. Efforts were made to repopulate and rebuild areas devastated by the war, including the relocation of people to key industrial regions. 5-year plans. Post-war economic policies were guided by Stalin's 5-year plans, prioritizing rapid industrialization and collective farming. 3. Stalin's continued rule. Political climate. Stalin maintained tight control over the Soviet Union through his authoritarian regime, with no tolerance for political dissent. Cult of personality. Stalin's cult of personality was further entrenched, portraying him as the hero of the Great Patriotic War and the architect of the USSR's post-war recovery. Purge and repression. Political purges continued, targeting real and imagined opponents of Stalin's rule, including war veterans and party officials. Mao 4. Societal changes. War veterans. Veterans of the Great Patriotic War were venerated, but also faced challenges reintegrating into civilian life. Women's roles. Women, who had contributed significantly to the war effort, continued to be an important part of the workforce. Social services. Despite economic hardships, the government provided basic social services, including education and healthcare. Cold War dynamics. Superpower status. The post-war period marked the beginning of the Cold War, with the Soviet Union emerging as a superpower rivaling the United States. Nuclear arms race. The successful testing of the Soviet atomic bomb in 1949 intensified the arms race and heightened global tensions. Eastern Bloc. The USSR solidified its influence over Eastern Europe, establishing a buffer zone against the West. 6. Cultural and ideological impact. Propaganda. Soviet propaganda glorified the victory in the war and Stalin's leadership, shaping public perception and cultural expression. Control over art and science. The regime exerted control over artistic and scientific communities, mandating adherence to socialist realism and ideological conformity. 7. Conclusion. The post-war era in the Soviet Union was a complex period of rebuilding, political oppression, and significant shifts in global power dynamics. Under Stalin's rule, the USSR not only recovered from the devastation of World War II, but also established itself as a dominant force on the world stage, setting the foundation for the Cold War era.